Looking to be more productive and jump those hurdles of change and challenge easier? You've come to the right place. Welcome to Thrive in Life with your hosts, Zaheen Nanji.
Hello and welcome to episode 39 of Thrive in Life show. I'm your host, Zaheen Nanji. Today we have a special guest that I've been trying to get for a while now, and he's finally here. But first, I'd like to let you know that this show is sponsored by one of my courses, which is the motivation course. You can get that 4-week e-course at zaheennanji.com/motivation. Again, that's zaheennanji.com/motivation. Well, I'm so excited to have Alnoor. And he always goes on, and he's on Facebook, and that's how we met. Now we're friends, and we've been friends for a while now. And I was amazed to actually learn about his weight loss journey. And that's why he's on the call today, because, hey, if you want to live in a way that is resilient, Alnoor is a great example of that. He has come a long way. And being the owner of a wellness center, as well as a health coach myself, it's so good to have him on. So let me just do a little bit of intro for Alnoor, and then we'll get right into the questions. All right. Alnoor has presented to leaders across Canada and internationally. He uses his background in human resource management, along with 8 years in career services, to assist mid-career clients to seek best fit solutions. Alnoor is an acclaimed career coach, a workshop facilitator. By the way, if you've been to his workshops, he is very huggable. And he has also won a coaching award. Alnoor, that is great. I didn't know about that. So
Thank
congrats.
You. 2 actually, but shukar. Yeah.
Yeah, good. So that's 2 awards. And I'll have his longer bio in my show notes, as well as how to get a hold of him. So like I mentioned before, he is on this episode to discuss his weight loss journey. So thank you for coming on the show, Alnoor.
My pleasure.
Well, let's just start with the first question. So what was the spark that got you started on your journey? And if you'd like to share as well, how much you've lost.
Okay, certainly. So to date, I've lost about 180 pounds.
Wow.
I started about 10 years ago. And I remember that, ever since I was young, I've been heavy set. And, it's quite, we're from the same city in Mombasa, actually. And I didn't even know that when I first connected with you. So ever since I was a kid, I've been a heavy-set kid, and went through all of those yo-yo diets, and nothing really stuck. It was because there was something that clicked later on in life, and it was when I was actually in Cuba, I believe, on the beach, because it reminded me of the city we're from in Kenya, the beaches and all of those. And my older son was about 6 at that time, and he was watching the other dads run and play. And he comes up to me and says, Papa, let's play. And I said, sure, because, you could see that excitement. You're like, okay, you know what? This is great that he's engaging with me. We don't usually do this here in Calgary because it's half of the year it's snow, and maybe we have to wait 5 minutes and the weather will change. And then you put on your shoes and maybe the weather will change again. So needless to say, I said, okay, fine. So I got up and I was just puffing and panting, and I ran for just a couple steps and I could not do it. And it was shame and guilt and all of those things and negative scripting that made me think, oh my, here I can't do this. And that was the catalyst. That was that changing point. Sorry, he was about 4 at that time, because this was 10 years ago. And I came back to Canada at that same time around then. My friend Shabu he is legally blind. He became blind at the age of 19, and he had finished summiting Mount Kilimanjaro.
Wow.
This man bakes, cooks, does line dancing, does mountain biking, tandem biking. Not only has he summited Mount Kilimanjaro, he's also gone to Everest Base Camp. And so you think about this, that wow, these are individuals that are not stopping at anything. And you think, I went up to him and I said, Shabu, why? And he said, I believe I can.
Wow.
I believe I can.
Mm.
And that stuck with me.
Mm.
That was that fire that lit my, that was that spark that lit my fire, that made me say that, I needed to believe in myself. And that is so powerful because that's what I was saying. I was doing so many yo-yo diets and all of that, and nothing really worked until I started believing in myself and using cognitive behavior therapy, all of those, that made that change.
Yes, because it's all up here, isn't it?
Oh, you hit the nail on the head. It really is. It is, it was thinking like, it's not about how fast you go. It's not about how far you go. It is about go and giving your brain that go and loving yourself. And that has been the most amazing thing.
Yes. And speaking about your friend, I think I should have him on my show.
You should. He's just Shabu. I love that guy. Seriously, he just brings a smile to my face. He's to see him play, line dancing at the religious festivals and to play Rasra and Dandiya, all of those. I know you know what those mean, but these are something that, even people who are able to see are able to do it. He's quite something.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So now it's been 10 years, and I'm sure there were times where you felt that, this is too much work, or you may have felt like slipping back to your old ways. But what stopped you from doing that? Because I see so many clients here, and if they slip up or something like that, it's the end of the world. My job to help them, show them how far they've come, and one thing should not just make them feel like it's the end of the world, right?
So yes, in the 10 years there have been so many times, because if you look at the measures and measuring it on the scale, that is not a good reflection. You can have so many things that can happen in your life that can put you back. And there were so many times like those, and I went back to my why.
Okay, Alnoor, you froze.
For others, which was all that. And then I said, I have to do this for myself. Sorry, are you?
Yeah, you froze.
Okay. Sorry, not sure what's happening. Are you able to see me okay now?
Yeah.
Okay. So in the beginning it was about, but then you have to look at your why. Why are you doing this? And for me, a lot of this comes from looking at my accomplishments and all of those. And in the 10 years, I've documented my journey. I've looked at pictures and all of those. And going back to thinking is that standing up again after falling. And I look at when I'm coaching my clients, whether it's for job search or life skills, and I talk about kids, toddlers. How many times do they fall? Do they stop at that time? No, they get up and they go again and they go again. And it's okay to slip and fall off, because in this day and age, we are so wrapped up in, everything being perfect. Having all of those that are 10 out of 10. When you look at, 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 is perfect. And you're allowing yourself and embracing the gifts of imperfection. And that is what helped me.
Right.
When I was slipping and thinking, why do I need to do this?
Right. So So you encourage people to know why they're doing this in the first place. And it's not just about losing weight and looking good. It has to be something deeper than that.
Yes, it definitely is deeper than that. It's looking at, so let me even backtrack. It's like I needed to make sure that I was ready, willing, and able. And those are three very important things when anybody is going through the change process, is to say, am I ready? And literally looking at all of those things, because there are going to be so many times when there's going to be adversity that hits. There's going to be curveballs. And before, when these curveballs hit, it was emotional eating. And, so a little bit going back to childhood and embrace, having trauma and all of that. And then coming to Canada, we were sponsored by a family. And the way I dealt with trauma was by eating myself, because food would never talk back to me.
Mm-hmm.
And coming to Canada, it was a different kind of trauma. I went through emotional and mental abuse, and once even physical abuse. And I didn't have a voice for myself.
Mm.
And so I looked at it and said that, there are certain things that I can do, need to stand up for myself. I believe I can.
Mm. Good for you.
Thank you.
So now, I mean, like, it's been 10 years, and I know that people who may be watching this will say, wow, 10 years. It took a lot of, time, and I think even patience. And I find a lot of people nowadays want that instant fix, or thanks to smartphones, instant.
Yes.
But what would you tell others on how to keep going? And yeah, it took you 10 years, but look at how far you've come. So what would you tell others about that?
So, I joke around. I said, I went to the gym that one time, nothing happened. That one time, nothing happens in that one time. We need to be able to understand that you look at, past things, bring past examples in life and how they were able to move forward, and saying that, even learning the piano, those overnight sensations, they're not overnight sensations. They took lots of work, lots of hard work. And this brings me back to my mother-in-law used to always say it when I first, my mother-in-law is Chinese. So she would say, 只有功夫人，天帮没吃人, which means that, it's a fable about a woman whittling away at an iron rod to make a needle. And this young guy would walk by and he would say, what are you doing? And she'd say, I'm making a needle. And he said, well, it's going to take time. And each and every day he would walk by and he'd see that iron rod was shrinking and becoming finer and finer and sharper. So using those same examples, whether it is your weight loss, whether it is any other things that you're going through, you need to be able to take that patience, be able to breathe. Yes, I know with the smartphones, our attention spans have gone really, it's goldfish have, larger attention spans than sometimes humans do, and some personalities even more. So I totally appreciate that question that yes, 只有功夫人，天帮没吃人.
Wow, good one. For those of you listening on the podcast, know that we actually record this show on Zoom, and it's in video form, so it goes on YouTube as well. Just so you know that you can watch it as a YouTube video, or you can listen on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and iHeartRadio. All right, so the next question that I have for you then, Alnoor, is we all, as human beings, tend to think negative, all right? And I'm sure there were times where something happened and you started to think negative, especially when it came to you about your weight loss or anything else around that area. How did you manage, or how did you get out of that negative scripting?
Wow, that is a powerful question. The negative scripting is something that I've really had to work. It's, sometimes you hear outside people what they say. And where did it start from? It could have started, as early childhood when parents say something wanting you to, what, you brought only a 80%? That's not good enough, and all of those, or teachers saying things like that, but they didn't come from that space where they were being harmful, but that was the language. Don't all, the culture that we come from want everybody to be doctors and lawyers? Well,
Yeah.
or engineers. I'm definitely not one of those.
Me
So
neither.
so looking at that, and looking at ways of looking at cognitive behavior therapy, which is what I do right now, is really asking myself, is this true? Is this real? The other things I say is, what would your best friend say to you? Because the words that we use on ourselves, words matter. And it is just amazing that, I still catch myself saying things that are harmful to my kids. And it's a learning thing that I'm going through. I recently shared something which was about Thomas Edison and his mother getting a report card, and the kid is asking, "What are you doing?" And she said, "Well, it's saying that you need to study at home because you're too clever." And later on, when Thomas Edison became successful and all that, his mother had passed on. He went on and pulled the drawer and actually found that report card, which said that your son is not clever enough to be able to be in school. So those words are so important of what we do say to others, what we say to ourselves. And learning to stop that negative scripting is one of the hardest things to do. And so I look at these cognitive behavior therapy tools. I look at, where I have come from, what I've done. In the past, I was climbing mountains by carrying them. Sorry, I was carrying mountains, not climbing mountains. In the 10 years, I've now started summiting mountains by not carrying them and allowing that story not to be my story. I'm writing my own ending. And that's helping with that negative scripting as well. Looking at the pictures and saying, "Oh, Noor, that took so much effort. Look at where you've come, how you're inspiring others." That helps me in turning down that noise that's happening in the head.
Yes. And when we first started, and I said it's all in the head, it's so true, because one of the things that I always start with my clients is the triggers that we have when it comes to weight loss and eating.
Mm-hmm.
And I always ask them, become aware of the triggers, because if you don't become aware of them, no matter how much you look at healthy eating or you exercise, that's all great. But if you don't change your thinking, those two will never matter, because they always go hand in hand. And I always say that your mind is connected to your body. It's not two separate things, right?
Very true. And yes, it certainly had to be a lot of different of a headspace. Headspace of accepting the imperfections,
Mm-hmm.
accepting me for who I am, learning to love myself, which was very difficult, and also using those positive words on myself and saying that, the scale is saying that, you've not moved. In fact, you've increased. But what we don't understand is that when we go to the gym and we lift weights and all of those, we're actually building muscle, which will skew the results of anything. However, we're not quick to think about those things. We're quick to think, oh, it did not move. Therefore, I'm a failure. Oh my gosh, I'm a failure. I've lost everything. I've lost everything. I am the worst person in my career, in my life, as a parent, all of those. It doesn't stop. Because when that starts, it's like a tsunami. It keeps on going and going. And you have to make conscious effort.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have accountability partners. You need to have coaches to help move you past those pieces of, that negative space in the head.
Yeah, exactly. So we're almost to the end, but I really want to go into the daily habits, because that, I'm sure, is something that everyone would have questions. Is, okay, he's done this, but what did he actually do to become successful at keeping his weight off? Because I always tell people, weight loss is the honeymoon phase. Weight maintenance is what happens after the honeymoon.
Great question. So, it's all starts with making your bed. A simple thing like that. Because, you start the day with the right thing. You start the day with the right attitude. You've got that accomplished. You've got that done. The other thing is I start the day with looking at the past day. What do I need to accomplish the next day? And gratitude. There's so many times things go wrong. I even ask my kids, so what went right today? And it's so easy to focus on the negative. But
Mm,
when we change that language and we change how we ask those questions, what went great today? Write three things that went great today, and that carries you forward each and every day. One more thing is about mindfulness
mm,
and also embracing spirituality, which has been one of the pillars that it's good to do those 1 minute meditations, because
mm.
sometimes life just gets in the way. And
Yep.
imagine you're waiting in the line for your double tall, triple Americano miso with foam, extra hot, no. And you're able to do that 1 minute meditation while you're waiting for that barista. You're still connecting with the barista, but internally you're doing that. You're doing that for yourself. So those are the things, those are the habits that have helped me immensely.
Did you completely change the way you eat and look at food and exercise or anything like that?
Very much so.
Hmm.
The exercise, it's always increasing little bits by little bits. In the beginning, as I said, I was not able to go fast. I was not able to go far. It was about go and accepting that, okay, today I put on my shoes. That is something to celebrate. And that is one of the biggest things that I talk to people is like, we are so afraid to celebrate even our small successes. So celebrate each and everything. I celebrate by making, meditating over making chai, which I'm having right now. I celebrate that, yes, I was able to put on my shoes. I did not go out and I did not let that negative scripting take over. I celebrated because, you know what, today I connected with somebody and I gave them a hug. So, yes, you were talking about hugs? Definitely. Those are great to connect with people and connect with people. Let people know. We are so used to putting on our mask. Remove the mask. People are not, those haters are going to hate you no matter what. And when they are haters, you're doing something right. So
Right.
take that on. And, just the portion sizes. So I went from the large plates to the smaller plates, putting half of my plate with the greens and vegetables. I'm a pesco ovo lecture vegetarian, so I don't touch any red meat. So it's putting like, okay, kale, how do I eat that? Now, come on.
Right.
So putting kale in a blender, putting an avocado in the blender, protein powder, and sometimes even coconut water. So because it's like we are so used to a little bit of the tastes and all of those. So
Right.
not doing everything together with once, but baby steps
Baby steps.
and
Yes.
persistence
Mm, that's right.
and acceptance of yourself.
So there you have it. It's baby steps, persistence, and acceptance. I like that. And I think with that note, we're at the end of the show, but I'd like to ask Alnoor if for a couple of things. One, would you be okay with showing a before and after in the show notes?
Yes, definitely. I can send you that.
Okay.
Actually, I've got one of the suits that I want to put on as showing this is what I wore with my older son. I can do that and take a
Sure.
picture of that.
Okay,
Yes, yes.
sounds good. Yeah, and the next thing is if any of my listeners or viewers want to get a hold of you, and just to feel inspired and to get some more information from you, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, my website is www.iamalnoor.com. IAMALNOOR Alnoor.com. Alnoor means the light, so I provide light to career and life. I am on Facebook, I am on Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Twitter with the hashtag I am Alnoor. I would be delighted to share some of these tips with you. So please, please, please do reach out.
Okay, wonderful. Well, there you have it. I'll also have the website link in my show notes, and it's iamalnoor.com. Again, this is episode 39 of the Thrive in Life show. And hey, if you're looking for motivation now when it comes to weight loss, of course, you can go get your 4-week e-course at zaheennanji.com/motivation. Until next time, thrive in life and make resilience your first reflex. Bye now.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to Thrive in Life with your hosts, Zaheen Nanji. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit ZaheenNanji.com. That's ZAHEENNANJI.com. We'll catch you on the next episode of Thrive in Life.